If I die in this world, who will know?
Hey, my name is Jobby, and welcome to another episode of DRAWbbytheHong, where I draw your requests from Twitter. Now, I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, but I've been away, I've been doing some things, and hey, I might do another gameplay video for you guys sometime down the line. So let's just jump into it, shall we? Anyway, so because it's been a while since I've drawn anything, I'm gonna take a few warm-up sketch requests. And in order to do that, I'm just gonna take this Jobby request post that I posted a week ago, and I'm gonna scroll through the comments, and whatever stands out to me, I will draw. No random picking here, just whatever I feel like. And why don't we start with one of the first ones here? Afro Ninja. Please mark your calendars for Paskinti Day. So this character I'm drawing right now is named Ginger, I believe, and it is a original character creation by Afro Ninja, who is, in my opinion, a very great artist that you should go follow on social media, subscribe to on YouTube, all that good stuff. And this whole warm-up portion of the video is gonna give you guys that didn't retweet the request post like you were supposed to, a fighting chance. And it looks like we're doing a classic comic book industry standard butts and boob pose. Anatomically inaccurate, but if you want to get the two greatest assets in there, sacrifices must be made. And on that note, let me just redo this. I'm not liking the pose so far. So instead of classic butts and boob pose, we're going for standard Jobby pose number 65. Now, I apologize if I sound a little bit under the weather. That's only because I am. That's how you know I've run out of things to talk. I brought up the weather. After all this time, you think I'd be better at drawing hands. This was only supposed to be a warm-up sketch, but I actually like how this is coming out. But before I move on any further, rotate that canvas. I don't want to spend too much time on this warm-up drawing, but I'll just finish up the face so I don't leave you completely blue-balled. And of course, she's got those freckles. Afro Ninja is someone of great taste. And I'm just gonna stop right there because we have a ton of other requests to get through, but because I like how this drawing's coming out, I might just go back and finish it on my own time. Anyway, that was our first warm-up sketch. I think I'll do 2 of them before getting into the random 5 requests. Thank you, Afro Ninja, for your participation. Let's scroll down to the other comments and see what pops out. Yep, I might draw sexy ladies too much, so it's always good to get out of my comfort zone. What season is It's Always Sunny on right now? I haven't watched it in a long time. I actually really enjoy it though, to answer a question no one asked. I think I've only gotten to like season 4 or something. Me and my ex would always watch it because she was a huge fan, so she introduced me to it. And yeah, it's a really great show. I can see why it's talked up. It's hilarious. A thing I most enjoy about the show actually is the gang, the main characters. They're all terrible people. Danny DeVito dumb-thick. Perfect. I'm looking forward to Into the Spider-Verse. Alright, so one more warm-up sketch. There we go. Ever since I did the first Jobby video, I still haven't seen Monster Musume, but I assume this is a screen cap from one of the shows, right? I think snakes get a bad rap sometimes. They could be cute. For example, the picture that I'm referencing. It's been a while since I've drawn a skirt. That doesn't look right, whatever. There! That should do it. I think I'm properly warmed up now. So now let's see who was a good boy and retweeted the tweet. Our first random request of the day is... Dial. Of course, the first random one is an OC. A cool looking OC, not gonna lie. And Dad Dial tells me I could choose between the white and the black one. I'm just gonna go with white because it's easier. Please don't take that out of context. Kinda looks a bit like Cassandra Cain from the Batman universe. And speaking of Batman, anyone else looking forward to Into the Spider-Verse? I'm pretty excited for that movie. I'm just glad that theatrical animated superhero movies are becoming a thing. First there was Big Hero 6, then it was Lego Batman, now Into the Spider-Verse, which looks really legit, man. There's a certain character though that got popular out of nowhere for nefarious reasons. That's the best way I can put it. The design kind of reminds me of Batman Beyond. Anyone watch that show? I never completed it, but Return of the Joker is one of my favorite Batman stories ever. Kind of cements the Joker as one of my favorite villains. Some groundbreaking opinions going on in this video. And I'm just gonna stop it there. I think it came out pretty good. Your OC is actually a really neat design. Thank you, Dadial, for introducing me to Dadial. Let's click that button once again. I think it crapped out. Let's copy and paste that once again. And Don't fail me. What? Retweet machine broke. I guess we're just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. I suppose this video is gonna be the one where I draw whatever the hell I feel like. This is horrifying. I'm gonna draw it. Has there been any word of when Aggressive Let's Go Season 2 is gonna come out? I'm looking forward to that. Anyone here watch Season 1? I know you did, come on. I have quite a fondness of drawing faces. It was definitely my favorite thing to do in life drawing class, and for those of you who don't know, life drawing class is, they wheel out a naked person for you and you draw them for an hour. It was great, one of my favorite classes in school, but I would always get caught up in the face. This should have been a Halloween video. This is turning out to be very spooky. Perhaps when YouTube inevitably crashes and falls, I can get a job as one of those beach caricature artists and then die on the street. Thank you very much, Andrew. I hope your GF enjoys this. Next, request.
What should I draw?
I think I'll draw this good boy here. Urstiad Prathama and Bolt Matrix. Both of you guys asked for Goblin Slayer. I think you're gonna get it. Now, would it surprise you if I told you guys I haven't watched it? In this case, though, I don't have any desire to watch it because I read about what happens in the first episode and it doesn't sound like it's for me. Please tell me in the comments how much of a pussy I am. I'm sure it's a fine show and I'm not gonna disparage anyone for liking it. It just doesn't sound like it's for me. However, I do like the concept of the Goblin Slayer character himself. Reminds me of another good boy that I'm in love with. However, contrary to popular belief, I do enjoy watching the occasional anime once in a while. Recently, I caught up with My Hero Academia, looking forward to that 4th season, and I began watching Gridman. And Gridman is a pretty good show. A lot of the animation from it reminds me of Transformers Armada, which I don't remember being the best show, but I did like the transformation sequences, and Gridman has a lot of that. I bet you Goblin Slayer fans are enjoying me talking about Gridman. You fans of Goblin Slayer strike me as the people who would call my taste trash. But I guess that's all anime fans, isn't it? Hey, no one's ever made this joke before. And on the topic of this original concept, I think I will continue playing Doom as a video series. I just gotta figure out how to fit Let's Plays in my schedule, but once I get that set up, I might even make a separate channel for it. I know a lot of you guys subscribe to this channel don't like watching me play games. I've read the comments. There you go, my version of Goblin Slayer. And finally, our 4th request, and we'll do this. So I will be drawing Shin Godzilla's 2nd form. Technically 2nd form, but it's the 1st form we see in the movie. Kamata-kun, as he's called. When I first saw this thing in the Shin Godzilla movie, I couldn't process what I was looking at. What the fuck? This weird-ass Muppet-looking thing roaming around the streets, smashing up cars. It was kind of goofy, but in a very terrifying way. Something about it, man. I don't like looking at it. I guess a lot of the Japanese liked looking at it and gave him the cute name Kamata-kun. Well, it is sort of adorable, I guess. It's like an undercooked chicken. That looks like a pretty good sketch, but to top it off, anyone who hasn't seen Shin Godzilla is probably really confused right now. There he is, the good boy. Sweet, sweet Kamata-kun. Let's get into our final one. And in the last video, for my final request, I kind of went pretty crazy with it. I cleaned it up, I lined it up and all that. This video, I might not do something like that, in order to save time. I got a lot of other stuff to do today. But what I will do is kind of rough in an idea that I was having. And luckily for me, that idea involves something that I saw while scrolling down these comments. There she is. I wanted to draw Rika Takarada from Gridman, but with a twist. Just like any other weeb degenerate that's watched Gridman, I do enjoy Rika Takarada's design for obvious reasons. But I would say it's kind of a shame that she's overshadowed what is a really awesome mecha series. Her and the other girl. But Trigger did that on purpose. They're known for their waifu bait. At this point, everyone's drawn Rika, but I don't think anyone's done this yet. And don't give me that shit that it's not thick enough. You guys draw her too thick. Gridman, not the best written show, but still very enjoyable. And I'm looking forward to where it goes next. I hear it's only gonna be 12 episodes, but it feels like the story's moving a little too slowly for that. Maybe they'll do a 2nd season, who knows? And I think me giving her these boots, you might get an idea of what I'm doing. You see, the thing that got me actually watching the show was I saw a few people making the connection of Transformers to Gridman. All the characters that you see in Gridman are based in some way a Transformer. Specifically, Shattered Glass, where the Autobots were evil and the Decepticons were the good guys. You know, for example, the main character is based on Cliff Jumper. He has a primarily red color scheme, and his hair is even has horns on it. But Rika, little less obviously, is based on Megatron. And with that, I think I gave away my idea. I might have mentioned this before, but this whole Jobby thing, I mostly do it for myself. It gives me an excuse to draw because ever since last month, ever since the Shin Godzilla review, I haven't had the time to draw. And this is great. It feels good. I definitely don't feel like I'm drawing as best as I could be, but we'll just call this video the warm-up episode. Then the Jobbies after this, hopefully I do a lot better. And I'm just gonna clean it up to the extent that I can use it for the thumbnail. That was the whole idea behind the fully drawn final request anyway. Makes for a good thumbnail. And if that's the case, that means I have to color at least part of this. Not gonna finish it in this video, but you will see the finished drawing on my social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and I recommend you do follow me if you would want more updates on what I'm doing with the channel or with myself. If you guys want to be constantly updated about what I'm doing, I highly recommend following me on Twitter because I am there maybe a little too much. You can always tweet out at me. We can have a little chat that'll go on for maybe 5 tweets. I'm honestly trying to cut down my social media use. It really does do a number on my productivity. Not a new opinion at all, but I believe that social media ain't good for us. It's a time sink. You can easily get addicted to it. Maybe that's just me. I tend to have an addictive personality. I'm not saying that I'm taking any drugs. If you count alcohol as a drug, then I am taking drugs. I'm just saying I have a tendency to, when I hook onto something, I tend to, dig into it. Like Gridman. When I watch Gridman, like I do with any show, I go and read up all about it. That's just who I am. And maybe to a certain extent, it extends to my social media and internet usage. I'm on here too much, and I've gotta stop. Not an easy task, considering that my job is online. I should have flipped my canvas a while ago. A lot of things are looking wonky to me. I feel that I draw a lot better when I'm recording. And this is kind of the classic, when you're doodling in class, you feel like you draw like goddamn Leonardo da Vinci, but when you go back and draw at home, you feel like shit. I feel the same way when it comes to recording. I feel like when I'm not recording, when I'm just drawing for myself, I tend to overthink things. I tend to try to draw as cleanly as possible. But over here, as you can see, I'm being really loose and really messy and sketchy. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be loose, to loosen up, have fun with it. Because if you spend too much time trying to make every stage look good, you're not going to get anywhere. In my opinion. I feel like I'm starting to lose a bit of that Rika-ness. Let me adjust her eyes a little bit. Very subtle things that make her look like her own person. I really enjoy that about Rika's design. No, not just for the legs, but because her face is so distinctive. I don't think I've seen an anime character that looks quite like her. Kind of dispels a common misconception about anime where a lot of people perceive all the characters to look the same, but nah, man. A lot of anime characters can look distinct in the face. And I'm not talking about crazy over-the-top designs. Obviously Gridman doesn't look like Rika. Well, what I'm saying is Rika, as an anime girl, doesn't look like Akane. They have very different facial structures. Or Rika doesn't look like Ryuko Matoi. Ryuko from Kill la Kill also has a very distinctive facial structure. It's interesting. I might think too much about the facial structure of anime characters. From this point, I could just color it straight on. So I'm gonna color this real quick, and in order to do that, I'm just gonna save JPEG large my ass. There we are. I have her color palette. Today I actually have a pretty packed plate on my hands. Not only am I recording the Jobby video today, I will be editing it today, later in the day. And also, after this, I have a few voice roles that I have to perform. Some of you guys contact me through my email and offer me some parts. That's something too. I really enjoy doing the whole voice acting thing. It's really fun. And if any of you guys listening to this or watching this right now are interested in getting me to voice something for one of your projects, you can go ahead and contact me through my email. And I'll just say it right here, JobbytheHong2012@gmail.com. It's JobbytheHong2012 because I made it in 2012, don't you know? Yeah, if you're interested, hit me up. We'll talk about it. I do charge when I do get the part, but you can have me audition for something, and if you don't like it, then I won't charge, obviously. And if you want to see what I've done, in terms of voice acting, I've got a playlist here on my channel. Jobby voice roles. Go check that out. That's basically my resume. It's so weird of me to say that Rika is one of the most beautiful anime characters I've ever seen. Yeah, just saying that out loud makes me feel like a creep. Alright, thanks Club Lion. I'm just gonna borrow your render for colors. I think I saw a comment about Gridman, and it's it's very accurate. Every character in this show looks like they have the universe in their eyes. There we go. Just that little bit of life right there. And now the pink. Very strange coloring choice, but it works. Yeah, that looks like her. When I saw that first episode of Gridman, I was really off-put by it at first. Because it seemed very, how do I put it? Artsy-fartsy. But once they activate Gridman, once Gridman gets summoned into the city, that's when I was sold. While I haven't seen many tokusatsu shows like Ultraman, Power Rangers is really the only one that I've seen. I really enjoy it when I see it. I love watching giant things beat each other up. It's great. One of my favorite clips ever from the original Ultraman show from the 60s. I think it was the 60s or 70s, I forget. But my dad showed me it actually, because my dad is actually a huge tokusatsu fan. I'll get to my dad later, but basically my dad showed me this clip of Ultraman from the show that he grew up with. It's Ultraman fighting a Godzilla ripoff, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. This Godzilla ripoff, he has like a lizard frill like you would see on the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park, you know, the ones that shoot poison. And at one point in the battle, Ultraman rips that thing's frill off and it starts bleeding everywhere. It's really good. It's really funny, and I highly recommend everyone go check that out. Now, about my dad. I think I'm gonna show him Gridman. That beach episode might be a little bit of an awkward watch for both of us, but I think he'll enjoy the Gridman fights with the kaiju, because it's very similar to how it gave me the same feeling of an Ultraman fight, and hopefully it gives him the same feeling. So yeah, I'll show him Gridman. I'll let you guys know how that goes. My dad's so much of a Toku fan that he named one of our cats Gamo. And Gamo is the civilian identity of Spectre Man, which is a super obscure Toku series that I've never even heard of. I had to look it up, and Gamo is a good boy. As I mentioned before, all the characters from Gridman are based on Shattered Glass Transformers, but my Megatron Girl outfit is based on the G1 design, so I might adjust the design to match more of the Shattered Glass version. Let me just show you guys what I mean by Shattered Glass. It's basically the Energon Megatron, but a repaint of it. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it quits there. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's Jobby the Hong. Leave a like if you liked the video, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and subscribe for toy reviews and more. And look out for another gameplay video soon. I might do one more on this channel and then spin it off into another channel. Let me know what you think about that idea. I'll see you next time, and I might look into why my chair moved on its own. Hopefully it's not some sort of interdimensional rift or something. That would be some stupid lore.
Finally, some good fucking food.